So, with books that talk about the near-death experiences of a variety of people, and so much of the story is very different, or their experience is very different. I see similar threads also.
Similar threads.
Yeah. So, can you shed some light on that as far as why they're so different and
Can you share with me two different, of what you read, two different experiences?
Oh goodness. Well, it's been a little while since I've read some of them. For example, a similar thread will be the time and space are not real.
Right.
And you're right, and that things are happening simultaneously. Or that also okay, so similar threads. Now dissimilar, I'm thinking of the book by, I think his last name was Eden, E-B-E-N, and Morani. Does that ring a bell? Okay. So as far as different, I think some are more, I'm sorry,
That's
I'm not
okay.
coming up with it.
Okay. My guides just asked me to ask you to come up with two experiences, so that just helps you pull it to a conscious level. So some common themes are definitely the white light. Another common theme is the tunnel. So you'll hear that you follow the white light when you die, you go through a tunnel. So for me, that was a common experience. I would have a flash of light, and then I would be out of my body, or I'd have a flash of light and I'd be back in my body. And so because it happened about 40 times in a month, I began to notice the symptoms before it started. So at first I would just sit up in the bed. I didn't want to go to sleep because I didn't want to leave my body. But I would just lay down to try to just rest, but I would try to stay awake. And for me, I would begin to feel this vibration going through my body. It was like a ring that would go all the way down to my feet, and then it was like this ring of lights that would come up, but my body would start to shake. So how many of you have ever felt your body vibrating when you're laying in bed, shaking? How about paralyzed or numb, like you can't get your body to move? You can't even turn your head even though you want to. So that your body does go in a paralyzed state, then your spirit slips out. So this happens to each and every one of us at night. No one is immune from this. Everybody leaves their body. I just did not have the pleasure of falling asleep first. And so what would happen was the light would come, the body vibrations would come. And then I'd start to see this kind of swirling, turning energy of light. And I would start to move down that tunnel. And once I got to a certain point, it would feel like a magnet was pulling at me. So it was almost like if I reach a certain point, it was like I'd feel this magnet pull, and it's like I'd be shot out the other side. So I got very good at getting to this place in the tunnel where I knew I still had control, and then I'd back up a bit, and I stay in the tunnel. So remember, I said I've got this intense, curious mind. So I'm like, what is this tunnel business? And how is this working, and what's happening? What I realized was that the tunnel is my chakras. I was moving from the inside of my chakra out the other side of my chakra. So that's what the tunnel is. It's your own chakra system. So for me, I was actually coming out this chakra, and I could clearly feel it. I could clearly experience it. So it was coming out the solar plexus chakra. And eventually I learned how to hold it, how to control it, to where then I moved out my spiritual chakra instead. Because I began to realize that this is the root chakra, this is your survival, pure survival chakra. And you can have a lot of fear there, and if you leave your body out your survival chakra, then the only information you take with you as spirit is how to survive. So you're out of your body and you're in that pure state of fear. If you move out the second chakra, which is about emotions, sexual energy, creative energy, then you take survival and emotions with you, but you don't have the consciousness of the upper chakras. So I learned very quickly that if I came out the crown chakra, it was much slower, much more controlled, and I was much more at peace. But it took a lot of work because this one, it's like a cannon. I just shot out and just didn't have any control. Where if I came out this, it was slower and it was much more peaceful and almost heavenly, like, if you can even imagine what that's like. And so, so those are common themes. The experience afterwards are not so common. So if it's a near-death experience, they are going to see loved ones who are greeting them on the other side. They will either talk to them and say, it's not your time to come, or you've got to go back, or you have a choice. Not everyone has a choice. If it's your time, you're going to cross on over to the other side. If it's not your time, they're going to send you back. But there are some that do have the choice. And so it depends on how loud the call is on the human side that can kind of pull them back to their body. I'm not going to share that story. So, and then there are others who come out and the darkness around them is so intense that all they see is darkness, and they see other dark spirits or heavy spirits, low dimensional beings. I've actually only heard of that experience once, and the person actually had committed suicide. But and they went into the darkness, and it was very frightening, and they had to beg their way to come back. However, I've worked with a lot of people who attempted suicide, and that is not the case. They were greeted by angelic beings. There was a lot of love. There was a lot of support. There was that choice to come back and try to work through this. But then they, coming back into the life now, they now are aware that they have spiritual support. So it was a help to strengthen their life. So this one person, I've just talked to thousands of people with this, and I've only heard that one time. So, yeah, your experiences can be different. Mine, I was very blessed to see beautiful spirits, and even was able to meet Jesus. And it was, yeah, it was an amazing experience, but not one that I'm quickly wanting to repeat, because it's just, I just can't even explain why I don't want to repeat it. So it still happens once in a while, but I try to meditate and stay grounded and stay in my body, because we are here to, we are souls having a human experience. That's the reason why we're here. And so I'm here to be a human and not be out of my body. So, did I answer your question?
Yes.